Hi, I'm Julia. I'm 35 years old and living in what should be a cozy family home with my husband, Jordan, and our sweet daughter, Trisha. But there's a twist: my mother-in-law, Karen, also lives with us, and she might just be the queen of manipulation. Our life is never dull with Karen around. Her presence feels like a shadow that looms over us, always there, always interfering. Just this morning, as Trisha happily ate her cereal, Karen swooped into the kitchen like she owned the place, which, technically, she kind of does since she lives with us. "Trisha, darling, don't you think that's enough sugar?" Karen said, clucking her tongue as she peered over Trisha's shoulder. Trisha looked at me with pleading eyes, silently asking for help. I kept my voice calm. "It's fine, Karen. Trisha's breakfast is perfectly balanced." But Karen wasn't done. "You know, Julia, back in my day, we were taught not to talk back to our elders. I'm just trying to help, for Trisha's own good." The room grew tense. Even the air felt heavy. I clenched my fists, holding back my frustration. "I appreciate your concern, Karen, but Trisha and I have this covered." That was just a typical start to our day. Evenings were no easier. Last night, as I was tucking Trisha into bed, Karen barged into her room. "Close the window, she'll catch a cold," she insisted, even though it was mild spring weather. "Trisha needs fresh air, Karen. It's not even cold," I argued. But Karen tooted, going on about how the night air was damp and could harm young bones. Later, Jordan, trying, as always, to play the peacekeeper, came in after Karen left, rubbing his neck. He said, "Mom means well, you know, she's just set in her ways." I sighed, wanting to believe him. "I know, Jordan, but her ways are overbearing. It's like walking on eggshells in my own home." He nodded, a brief flash of understanding in his eyes before it disappeared behind his usual optimism. "Let's try to keep the peace for Trisha's sake. We'll figure this out." And that's our life. A constant cycle of trying to please Karen while protecting Trisha, and my own sanity. It's draining, but I hold on to hope that one day Karen will realize we're not just background characters in her story. We're a family that deserves respect and peace. So there you have it, a glimpse into our everyday struggles. Stick around because the story only gets more intense from here. Don't forget to like and subscribe for updates. One unusually quiet evening, as Trisha played softly in the living room, Karen cornered me in the kitchen. Her voice was strangely serious as she clasped her hands tightly in front of her. "Julia, there's something very important. I need to talk to you," Karen said seriously. I wiped my hands on a dish towel, suddenly uneasy. "Karen, what about Erica's baby?" She took a deep breath, her eyes darting nervously before meeting mine. "The baby is very sick, Julia, and there's only one way to save him." Confusion turned to horror as I realized where this was going. "What are you saying, Karen?" "It's Trisha's heart. We needed to save the baby," she said bluntly, like it was no big deal. I staggered back, my heart pounding. "Are you insane? Trisha is healthy." "But think about Erica. You'd be saving a life," Karen insisted, stepping closer. "No, absolutely not." My voice shook as I yelled, "Trisha is not a spare parts bank." Just then, Jordan walked in, his face full of confusion. "What's going on here?" Karen turned to him with fake tears in her eyes. "I was just explaining to Julia how Trisha could be a hero by saving Erica's baby." Jordan looked back and forth between us, unsure. "Mom, that's not possible, Trisha." "But think about it, Jordan," Karen interrupted, her voice desperate. "Wouldn't it be wonderful to save your cousin's child?" Jordan hesitated, his voice weak. "No, Mom, that's not right." Karen's tone turned sharp. "You'd let family die? You wouldn't even consider it?" "I'm taking Trisha and going to my parents," I declared, grabbing my daughter's hand. "We can't stay here." As I packed a bag, Jordan followed me into the bedroom, torn and conflicted. "Are you sure you want to leave? Maybe Mom didn't mean it like that." "Didn't mean it, Jordan? She asked for our daughter's heart. How else could she mean it?" I snapped, my hands shaking as I zipped the suitcase. "There has to be another way to help Erica without leaving," Jordan said weakly. "There's nothing to discuss. Your mother crossed a line," I replied firmly. "We're leaving, Jordan. Are you coming with us, or are you staying with your mother?" Jordan hesitated, the conflict clear on his face. I need to think." I didn't wait. Grabbing Trisha's hand, I walked out. My heart pounded with betrayal and fear as we left the house. In the rearview mirror, I saw the home I'd built with Jordan fade into the distance. A tear rolled down my cheek because I knew things would never be the same again. As we reached my parents' house, My mind raced with shock and disbelief. I kept reminding myself that Trisha was safe now. That was all that mattered. I pulled out my phone to call Erica. The phone rang as I paced nervously until she picked up. "Hey Julia, what's up?" Her voice was cheerful, unaware of the storm ahead. "Erica, I need to ask you something important. How's the baby?" My voice trembled slightly. "He's perfect, growing every day. Why do you ask?" she replied, confused. "Karen told me he was critically ill," I said, trying to keep calm. "What? That's not true at all. Where did she get that idea?" Erica's tone shifted to concern. "She asked me for Trisha's heart, Erica. She said it was the only way to save your baby," I admitted, the words tasting bitter. There was a pause. Then Erica said firmly, "That's insane, Julia. There's nothing wrong with my baby. I don't understand why Karen would say that." Relief and anger swirled inside me. "I think Karen is trying to manipulate us. I need your help to expose her." "Absolutely, this has to stop," Erica agreed without hesitation. We discussed our plan. Erica suggested, "What if we pretend to go along with her idea? We can set up a meeting and record her talking about this. That way, we'll have proof." "That might work. We need evidence to show Jordan and everyone else how manipulative she's been," I agreed. "I'll talk to my husband tonight, and we'll get this set up," Erica said. Later that evening, Jordan called. "Are you and Trisha okay?" His voice was hesitant, full of regret. "We're safe, Jordan, but we need to talk about your mother," I said, getting straight to the point. "I've been thinking about what happened. It's hard to believe," he admitted softly. Erica confirmed it. "The baby is healthy. There was never any need for a heart transplant," I explained. There was a long pause, followed by a heavy sigh. "What do you want to do?" "Erica and I are planning to expose Karen. She needs to be held accountable," I stated firmly. "Okay, I don't understand her anymore," Jordan said, his voice stronger now. "I'll help however I can." "Thank you, Jordan. We're setting up a meeting to record her admitting everything. Can you make sure she's there?" "I will. And Julia, I'm sorry. Let's just focus on fixing this." The next day, Erica and I met at a cafe to finalize our plan. "We'll confront her at a family dinner," Erica suggested. "She'll feel comfortable enough to speak freely, but it's public enough to keep her in check." "Are you sure about this, Julia?" Erica asked, searching my face. "I've never been more sure of anything," I affirmed. "It's time everyone saw the real Karen." We parted ways, determined and ready to pull back the curtain on Karen's manipulations. The day of the confrontation arrived. The mountain air was sharp and cool as we drove up the winding path in tense silence. Jordan's hands gripped the steering wheel tightly, his eyes focused on the road ahead. Beside him, Erica and I exchanged a determined look. When we reached the meeting spot, a secluded clearing with a breathtaking view, Karen was already waiting. Her expression was a mix of curiosity and mild annoyance. "What is this all about, Jordan? Why here?" Karen demanded as soon as we stepped out of the car. Jordan looked at her, his voice steady but tinged with nervousness. "We need to talk, Mom. It's important." I took a deep breath and stepped forward. "This is about your request, Karen, about the heart transplant you wanted for Erica's baby." Karen's eyes narrowed, a flash of defensiveness on her face. "I was only trying to save a life. You should be grateful." "Actually, there's a twist," Erica interjected, her voice calm but firm. "My baby doesn't need a transplant. He's perfectly healthy." Confusion crossed Karen's face before it was replaced with suspicion. "What are you saying?" "We know you lied, Karen, and now we want you to understand how it feels," I said, my voice stronger. "We need your heart, Karen." Karen stepped back, her eyes wide with shock. "What? Are you out of your minds? Just like you needed Trisha's heart, we need yours," Jordan added, his voice steady and determined. "This is ridiculous. You can't be serious." Karen's voice rose in panic as she looked between the three of us. "It's only fair, Karen. It's the only way to save another life," I continued, watching her confidence start to crack. "You can't do this to me." I refuse," Karen stammered, her composure breaking. "But didn't you expect Julia to agree when it was about Trisha?" Erica challenged, stepping closer. That was different," Karen faltered, her argument weak. Jordan quietly pulled out his phone, revealing that he had been recording the entire conversation. "We have everything on tape. Mom, your hypocrisy, your panic. How does it feel to be so helpless?" Karen's face fell as the truth sank in. Her eyes filled with tears of frustration and fear. You tricked me. We did what we had to do to show you the truth about yourself, I said firmly. You were willing to sacrifice your granddaughter, but you refused to make the same sacrifice yourself. Karen looked at us, her usual commanding presence gone. Now she was just a broken figure of despair and isolation. I didn't mean it, I was just desperate. But not desperate enough to offer yourself, Jordan said, his voice heavy with disappointment. The recording stopped, and the air grew thick with silence as the weight of the moment settled around us. Karen sat down, sobbing quietly, her defenses shattered. We'll be leaving, I said calmly. I turned to walk back to the car with Erica and Jordan. Perhaps now you'll understand the weight of your words and actions, I said. We left Karen alone in the cold mountain air, a figure consumed by her own choices. It felt as though a heavy curtain had been lifted. The truth was finally out. Healing might come someday, and perhaps forgiveness too, but for now, the wounds were too fresh, the betrayal too deep. As we pulled into our driveway, the weight of the day's revelations lingered. Jordan and I exchanged a glance, a silent understanding that everything had changed. Inside, Roger was waiting, his face etched with disappointment and resolve. Karen, he began as we entered, not even waiting for us to sit. I've spoken with Erica. She told me everything. Karen, still shaken from the confrontation, looked up. I can explain. There's nothing to explain, Roger cut her off. How could you even think of sacrificing your own granddaughter? It was a mistake, Roger. I just wanted to help, Karen pleaded, her voice trembling. Help? By tearing apart your own family? Roger's tone was sharp and disbelieving. I can't do this. I can't be with someone who values life so little. Karen reached for him, her hand shaking. Please don't leave me, Roger. I'll change, I promise. But Roger stepped back, his decision firm. It's too late for promises, Karen. I'm leaving. I want a divorce. The finality in his voice broke her. Karen slumped into a chair, defeated. Jordan placed a comforting hand on my shoulder. We should go pack, Julia. It's time to start fresh. The act of boxing up our lives felt strangely freeing, like letting go of a weight we'd been carrying for too long. I'm sorry for not believing you right away, Jordan said quietly as he folded Trisha's clothes. It's okay, Jordan, we're past that now. We're moving forward together, I reassured him. My heart felt lighter than it had in months. When everything was packed, we stood outside the house one last time. Trisha, blissfully unaware of the deeper emotions at play, tugged on my hand. Are we going on an adventure, Mommy? Yes, sweetheart, a big one. I smiled down at her, hope filling my chest. As we drove away, the house grew smaller in the rearview mirror. I turned to Jordan, feeling a quiet strength between us. A new chapter was waiting, and for the first time in a long time, the future felt full of promise. I shared my thoughts as we drove. Protecting our family was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it taught me the importance of standing up for what's right. Jordan nodded, his hand finding mine. We have a fresh start now, free from the past. Let's make the most of it, for Trisha. As the miles stretched before us, leading to a new beginning, the car filled with a sense of freedom and peace. We were together, stronger and more united than ever, ready to build a life defined by love and respect, far away from the shadows of manipulation. Now that our story has come to a close, I want to ask you, do you believe some actions are so unforgivable that they justify cutting ties with family, like Julia and Jordan chose? Or is there always room for reconciliation and forgiveness? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and let's discuss. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. Your support means so much.